This is the true story of a young woman declared dead, who may have woken up inside her coffin. A sealed grave, scratches from the inside, and a figure, some say, still walks among the tombs. Tonight, we delve into a chilling tale from the heart of Buenos Aires, a story that has haunted generations. It continues to whisper through the grand mausoleums of La Recoleta Cemetery. Prepare yourselves, for some legends refuse to stay buried. Our story begins in the early 1900s, a time of gas lamps, horse-drawn carriages, and a burgeoning city of Buenos Aires. This isn't merely a burial ground. It is a sprawling, opulent necropolis, a city of the dead built for the living. Its labyrinthine paths are lined with elaborate mausoleums, each a miniature architectural marvel, adorned with intricate sculptures, stained glass, and marble. It is the final resting place of Argentina's most prominent and wealthy families, a testament to their enduring legacy and status. Each tomb, a silent monument to power and prestige, often conceals a story, sometimes of triumph, sometimes of profound tragedy. And among these grand, silent structures lies the mausoleum of the Cambaceres family, a name synonymous with immense influence and fortune. It was the year 1902 when an unimaginable tragedy struck the heart of the Cambaceres household. Rufina Cambaceres, a young woman of just 19 years. She stood on the precipice of life, beautiful, intelligent, and from one of the most esteemed families in Buenos Aires. She was full of promise, dreams, and the vibrant energy of youth. But on that fateful day, as she prepared for a social event, Rufina reportedly collapsed suddenly. Panic ensued. Doctors, the most respected in the city, were immediately summoned. Their faces, initially hopeful, grew grim as they examined the lifeless form of the young woman. After a thorough, yet ultimately flawed assessment, Rufina Cambaceres was declared dead. The official cause, if one was even definitively given, has been lost to the mists of time, but no unusual signs were noted. No obvious cause for her sudden, inexplicable demise. Just a young life, seemingly extinguished too soon, leaving a family shattered and a society in shock. The Cambaceres family, heartbroken and consumed by grief, proceeded with the solemn and elaborate funeral arrangements befitting their station. Rufina was prepared for her eternal rest, dressed in her finest attire and laid within a magnificent coffin. The funeral ceremony itself was a grand, somber affair, attended by the creme de la creme of Buenos Aires society, all offering their condolences to the grieving family. Following tradition, Rufina was interred in the opulent family mausoleum. The heavy marble slab, bearing the family crest, was ceremoniously sealed, marking the finality of her departure. Everything appeared concluded. A life ended, a soul, presumably, at peace. The city mourned, then slowly began to move on, leaving Rufina to her eternal slumber within the cold embrace of the family tomb. But peace, it seems, was not to be found, neither for Rufina nor for the city of Buenos Aires. Only a few days after the burial, whispers began to circulate through the hushed corridors of the cemetery and into the bustling streets of the city. A cemetery worker, a man whose name has been tragically lost. He was reportedly making his rounds when he noticed something amiss at the Cambaceres mausoleum. The heavy stone slab sealing the entrance, he claimed, had been disturbed. Not significantly, perhaps, but enough to raise a chilling question in his mind. Was it merely the settling of the earth, or something far more sinister? The initial whispers soon grew into hushed conversations, then into outright rumors. Stories began to spread like wildfire through the city. Tales of a coffin found disturbed, of an unsettling presence within the sealed tomb. The rumors, fueled by a potent mix of fear, morbid curiosity, and the inherent human fascination with the macabre, spread quickly through the elegant streets of Buenos Aires, turning a private family tragedy into a public horror story. The city held its breath, captivated by the unfolding mystery. According to the chilling legend, the growing unease and the persistent rumors eventually compelled the Cambaceres family, or perhaps the cemetery authorities, to make a decision that would forever etch Rufina Cambaceres into the annals of paranormal folklore. Rufina's coffin was opened. What they found inside sent shivers down the spines of all who witnessed it, a scene of unimaginable horror that would haunt their memories forever. The body, once carefully arranged for eternal rest, was found in a different position than expected, twisted and contorted, as if in a desperate struggle. But it was the other detail, the most horrifying of all, that truly confirmed their darkest fears. Scratches. Deep, desperate, agonizing scratches were reportedly visible on the inside of the coffin lid, gouged into the polished wood, a testament to a frantic, terrifying struggle. The implication was horrifying, a nightmare made real, a fear that had plagued humanity for centuries. She may have been buried alive. The thought of waking in the suffocating darkness, entombed alive, with no hope of escape, is a terror that transcends time and culture. The story of Rufina Cambaceres and the horrifying possibility of her premature burial shocked the public to its core. The fear of being buried alive, or taphophobia, was a very real and pervasive concern in the early 1900s. Medical science was still in its infancy, grappling with the nuances of life and death, and instances of catalepsy, comas, or other conditions mimicking death were not unheard of. Rufina's tale became a terrifying embodiment of this primal fear, a cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones. The legend grew with each retelling, embellished and exaggerated over the decades, yet always retaining its core, chilling truth. While no official confirmation fully verifies the claims, the records of such a traumatic event would likely have been suppressed or lost. The sheer terror of the possibility was enough to cement her story in the public consciousness, a permanent scar on the city's psyche. Years later, a haunting and poignant tribute was placed at Rufina's tomb, a silent acknowledgement of the enduring power of her legend. A statue, exquisitely carved from marble, depicts a young woman. Her hand is reaching out, pushing against a door, as if desperately trying to escape the confines of her eternal prison. The imagery is stark, powerful, and undeniably reinforces the legend of her struggle. It's a silent scream frozen in stone, a perpetual reminder of the horror that may have unfolded within the mausoleum. This statue, more than any written account, cemented Rufina's place in the folklore of Buenos Aires. Visitors to La Recoleta Cemetery, drawn by the macabre allure of the story, began associating this particular tomb with the legend of Rufina Cambaceres, her tragic tale becoming an inseparable part of the cemetery's mystique and a focal point for those seeking a brush with the supernatural. Over time, the legend transcended mere historical anecdote and entered the realm of the paranormal. The mausoleum of Rufina Cambaceres became a magnet for ghost hunters, psychics, and curious tourists alike. Visitors to La Recoleta began to claim eerie experiences near her mausoleum, experiences that defy rational explanation. Some reported seeing a young woman in white, her spectral form gliding silently among the graves, her eyes wide and searching, perhaps for an exit from her eternal confinement. Others spoke of hearing faint, rhythmic knocking sounds emanating from within the mausoleum, a ghostly echo of her desperate struggle against the coffin lid. And many had described feeling a sudden, inexplicable coldness near Rufina's tomb, a chill that penetrates deeper than the Buenos Aires night, a coldness that seems to emanate from the very stone itself. Some believe her spirit never found peace, forever trapped between worlds, still searching for a way out of her eternal prison, forever reliving those terrifying moments of awakening. Of course, historians and skeptics offer alternative explanations, attempting to ground the supernatural in the mundane. They suggest that the story, while undeniably compelling and terrifying, may be largely exaggerated or symbolic, a cautionary tale rather than a strictly factual account. Medical misdiagnosis was indeed a grim reality in the early 1900s, and instances of catalepsy, A trance-like state that can mimic death or other conditions were not unheard of. The scratches and the repositioning of the body, they argue, may not be documented fact, but rather dramatic additions to the narrative over time, designed to heighten the horror and ensure the legend's longevity. From a purely historical perspective, the legend remains unproven, a tantalizing mystery that continues to defy definitive explanation. The lack of official records or concrete evidence allows the story to persist, thriving in the fertile ground of human imagination and fear. Yet, proven or not, the story of Rufina Cambaceres has become one of Argentina's most famous and enduring ghost legends. Her tomb remains a point of morbid fascination at La Recoleta Cemetery, drawing countless visitors who seek to connect with the chilling tale, to feel the lingering presence of a life tragically cut short. And to this day, visitors continue to share their own eerie experiences, their own encounters with the unexplained, adding new layers to an already rich tapestry of fear and mystery. The legend has transcended its origins, becoming a cultural touchstone, a testament to the power of a good, terrifying story. It is a life ended too soon, a burial that may not have been final, and a story that refuses to rest. Was it a tragic mistake? A medical oversight that led to an unimaginable horror? A young woman condemned to the most terrifying of fates? Or is it a legend shaped by humanity's primal fear of the unknown? A narrative that speaks to our deepest anxieties about life, death, and what lies beyond the veil. The truth, perhaps, is a blend of both, a historical possibility amplified by the human need for a compelling narrative. Either way, the legend persists. And some say, if you walk through La Recoleta at night, when the shadows lengthen and the mausoleums stand silent under the moon, you might just see her a spectral figure in white, still searching for a way out, forever trapped between worlds, a silent scream echoing through the hallowed grounds of the dead.